Okay, so this is the fixture between Scotland and Malta. So this is game one of the fixture. We've got 12 games, so that's Euro Bowl and European teams playing against each other. And it was me against Metal Malta, Greg, and his Wood Elves. So with my team, I traded up 30k's worth of stuff for an extra skill, and he did the opposite. He dropped a skill for an extra 30k's worth of Wood Elves. So my team is standard, well, fairly standard. I went for block and I went for wrestle on the blitzes this time. Um, and so yeah, Russell there, and so two guard and then block, block, block. Still thinking about block on the thrower or not. Still sticking with block on the thrower for the moment, because they're going to get hit sometimes. And also, it's quite useful to be able to hit with the ball carrier without worrying too much about it. In occasionally. So what did he have? He had a tree, he had a strip ball, and a tackle war dancers. And then on his catches, nothing except sidestep down there, and then two wrestle linos. So let's put a neutral in there and a W in there. So yeah, so he won the toss and chose to kick. Sorry, chose to receive, and then immediately we got a blizzard from the kickoff. Yeah, there's my setup, fairly sort of standard. So he had the War Dancer back, got a blizzard, so he hasn't got a throw at all, as he knows. So he's not obviously not going for any throwing or anything like that anyway. But yeah, so looks like carrying on the War Dancer. So punchy, punch, punch. No rooted tree. Tree's quite well behaved this game. Doesn't do a huge amount, but doesn't particularly root either. Obviously, the tackle war dancer is going to be the main man, stroke elf of this game because I've got a load of dodge because I'm Amazons. Yes, the tackle war dancer is going to be blitzing every single turn pretty much. And my aim really was to hit the wrestle linos because they haven't got really defensive skills. Um, wrestle's all right to stop yourself from dying, but no dodge basically. So I'd rather take out the wrestle linos first and then the catches afterwards. I think because that means he's only got the war dancer for hitting with. So I did very very little on my first turn. Obviously I can get 3 dice on the catches occasionally, and I do that, especially with a block, and it's nice to take out the catches. But I think the wrestle linos are troublesome. So I did, so I got KO'd on one of them first. A second ago, I did leave my guard a bit exposed there. He shouldn't have been able to get 2 dice on my guarder, so that's something to watch for. Um, yeah, and so I was able to bully the tree here, so able to get 2 dice on the tree, which was good. But the question was whether I had concentrated too many players. Obviously, that is the danger. Probably this one didn't need to be in there. Actually, that's a good point. Could I have got away with not following up there, and then I wouldn't have had to take the air? I think so. So if we just go backwards a second. Yeah, I think blitzing. So blitzed in with there, but if I hadn't followed up, then I've had the extra player down here, and then following up there really didn't really do very much at all, apart from force a dodge from linemen. Basically, the reason for tagging the lineman is to force the 2 up dodges and trim the rerolls as much as possible because he's only got 2 of them. But I think in that situation, it would have been better not to follow up and then have the extra person for the 2 dice block without having to bring someone in. So I managed to take down the tree in a reasonable situation. Now, what I did here was just sort of, he could have gone either way, and I couldn't sort of stop him. So what I wanted to do was to have both of the blitzers available to go both directions, and so I could have left the blitzer over on this side, and then he'd have had to sort of wrestle him down basically, and then he could have gone round there anyway. So I figured that he's going to be able to go round, and I just sort of wanted him to start committing a bit rather than just faffing about. Tree is down, so that's really good. So I can leave the tree now, ignore it. He's going to go to a side rather than go to the center. It doesn't matter which side he goes to. The tree's going to be useless because the tree's on the ground. Here comes the tackle blitzer. doing his thing and stunning, and then he gets quite a few players forward. So it's going to be tricky to stop him scoring because Wood Elves, and I had to basically they're going to be able to get fairly far forward at some point. So the question is what you do about that, whether you stop them scoring. Or whether you get them to score early. Basically, you don't want them to be comfortable caging down here, and that's the trick. Is I want them, especially with the blizzard, I want them to be quite far back as much as possible. So I think I'm fairly probably quite happy with this situation in a minute. Um, but yeah, lots of thinking here. Can ignore the tree. So basically, he can score at this point with a go for it. Um, but then that would give me 5 turns to score back. So even with the blizzard, that would be a bit of a bonkers move. So the question is, what does he do? And the answer is he sort of moves back again. So again, blitzing with it. Now that's quite nice because he blitzes there and doesn't get to knock this player down. So I mean, there's no route through here. So I don't know if he was going to go through there, but he can't. So he just has to sort of cage up here. So he didn't want to score that turn because it was too early. But yeah, so basically making it very difficult to get to the ball, which is fine. Could have done with that catcher dying, but that didn't happen. So at this point, I've sort of got a choice here whether to jump in, not jump in, but whether to engage a load of players, basically, because I've got this is the option I've got now, is to really sort of constrain him and force the dice rolls. He's still got 2 rerolls, but either at this point I can sort of make life cozy for him, or I can just sort of chill out a little bit more and just so I do a little bit of a mixture. So I engage some players, but not in a bad, not necessarily in a stressful way for him, because both of these players are dodged and this one can actually get out reasonably easily. But what I do want to do is to stop him sort of going through the middle, and that's quite hard because I've got a strength 4 there, I've got another player there. So at this point he needs to swap around a bit. And the question here is whether I can sort of stop him after that. So again, the 3 up and the 2 up out there, which is a bit tedious. And here he's got quite a few options. Now this was annoying, actually. Yeah, the 3 up and the 2 up there, I thought that was a bit audacious because it was completely sort of, well, not completely unnecessary, but so that was a thing. I thought the catcher was going to come back and do something, but actually him getting the catcher up there was quite irritating. It just gave him another scoring threat. So he's got 3 scoring threats here. And I'm not sure I played this turn as well as I possibly could have done, because I sort of ran out of players to make it really cozy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think probably this one should have gone down there, and then maybe I should have thought that out a bit better, because I needed the 2 there, and then I think I needed 2 of these players here to stop him, because basically he can run it in now, and I think at this point I would have run it in and just given the Amazons 3 turns to score back with the blizzard. Still got 3 rerolls, I suppose, but even so, in a blizzard, that's going to be a bit of a challenge. So I think if it were me, I think I'd have run it in on my next turn. So let's see if he does. Yeah, so that so went for the foul there, KO'd and sent off. I figured I've still got 11 players. Um, Still got 11 players. And worth a foul on the +4 is going to break armor, and 1 is 6 to get sent off. I get sent off, he gets KO'd, and that's okay. We'll see if he comes back. But basically, I think that was a slightly weak turn there potentially, because I basically gave him an easy score. So, and I think if I were him, I would have taken that easy score. Obviously, you don't know what would happen after that. Now here, we're going to pause in a minute to see. So he doesn't take the score. And he goes players back. Now I think this catcher, I think what he was saying was that, so we talked a little bit later in the game, and I think this catcher was possibly 1 too far back, one too far forward, or there would have been all right as well. But basically, this catcher's not doing anything, because this player can be removed. Yeah, I think that catcher needed to be either there or there, and that's what he said later. So, yep, so brings that one round, and that's my go. So I've got a standing player here, and that's the key bit really, and also the fact that there are 3 in a row here. This one's not important. So in order to solve this, I basically need to surf the war dancer, and the way I do that is by pushing this player to here, and then blitzing this one into the war dancer to there. So I don't think there was an easy way of doing it. No, I don't think so. Yeah, so pushing to there, blitzing to there, which pushes him to there. I did need to knock this one over. Oh no, I didn't. No, I didn't really. Push would have been all right. No, did need to knock that one over. Needed to power that one, because then I got these 3+ dodges in. Because if I didn't power that one, it would have been 4+, 3+, and quite juicy. So bring in the assist there, get the power, which is nice, and then so a little bit of movement around here, just in case things go wrong. Now, there's always a balance. Do I move the players in case things go wrong, or do I keep the players safe in case things go right? So do a little bit of balance. Leave this one safe up here, and I think one of these was free as well. So here's the blitz. So pushing, I think push or power would both have been all right. Basically I didn't need him off the pitch. Used the hit and run for some reason. I wasn't quite sure what I was doing. Make the dodge into there. So that's really nice having a guarder in there, because that gives it a 2 dice hit. But I still need, let's just check. I think I still needed that. Yeah. So I needed to fill that square, and there was no other way of doing that. So dodge into there, go into there, and then that gives the 2 dice hit on the war dancer. War dancer goes into the crowd, and that noise was a sploosh. So that is a dead strip ball war dancer, which is an absolute bonus. And then here comes another bonus. The ball gets thrown next to my spare player, and then a lovely bounce there. Makes the pickup and runs away. Now, that was random. Why did I do that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why did I move to there rather than there? What were you thinking, Michael? Anyway, that was the one mistake I made in that turn, it looks like. Bring around to there to stop shenanigans to reduce shenanigans from the catcher. I think that was the right place for him, but that was just bonkers that I didn't go there instead of there. Oh well. The rest of the turn was pretty good. And then he is in a bit of trouble here. He's got dead war dancer and just trying to get some stuff. So he moves up to there, and then this catcher, here he comes, 3+, 2+, and then a few more 3+s because of the blizzard. But he'd have made another 3+ anyway, so it didn't make a huge amount of difference, just mildly irritating. Does some stuff, bring some players back. So I'm still thinking that he can score, so I'm marking up these players and trying to make life difficult in case quad skulls happens or something. So I've got the blitz away. He's got sidestep, which is irritating, so I need to knock him over. I've got 2 turns still, but if I do knock him over, then life is good. So I both down him and knock him out. So that's really good. So again, make a little positioning mistake there, because this war dancer can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. So can base me, whereas if I'd gone there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, so if I'd gone there, we wouldn't have been able to base me either. So that was another just these little 1 squares. So what we've seen in the last 3 turns, just this 1 square difference. Because obviously there's it's a bit scary standing beside the side of the pitch, but if it means that the war dancer can't reach you, then that is a good thing to do. But the war dancer just seems so far away. But here he goes to the leap, and then does make the go for it to there in the blizzard. I do get a 3 dice hit on the catcher, which is a bonus. And then blitz, I do get the pushback for 1 dice, but I wouldn't have had to do that if I'd positioned a little better. But yeah, these 1 squares makes a difference, but really pleased with that. And at this point, I need to not mess up. He gets a blitz, so it's 10 against 8 at this stage. He's got two catches left. One is the tackle war dancer is still irritating, and the two Russell Linos are still around, but he is two catches out, including the side stepper for the moment. But yeah, he gets the blitz, gets the power on the player there, and then gets base contact on the ball, which hasn't landed yet. Ball lands, I drop it, and he catches it, which is mildly irritating. But I'm going to get at least 6 dice on the ball carrier with block, and he doesn't have block. So the first one takes him down, and serious injury. So that's jolly good. So as long as I pick up the ball, it should be all right. And also, I'm winning 1-0. And the really important thing is it doesn't matter if I don't score. I just need to make the ball as safe as I can. So so the reason I set up 1, 2, 3, 4 like that was to bring in a lineman either side and then hit the person and then hit and run out so that I get the hits as well as being able to dodge away from the treeman, so that the treeman doesn't make himself irritating, even if he roots. So I got the hit there, the hit and run out, but I used the other player for something, so I ended up with the dodge out there, and the dodge out was missed next game, which is a bit annoying. So the ball reasonably safe. Got the Garda there. Got another Garda there. It's all good. So he's just he's still doing the tackle blitzer thing every turn, which is entirely reasonable. I wasn't able to get rid. He's got 3 dice there, and now he roots and then takes the both down because when you go down, you stop being rooted, which is fine. So I wrestled it down rather than being hit by a tree man. Not that it matters as a tree man because he can't use Mighty Blow if he's on the floor. But yeah, thought I would. And they only had 1 player left, so there's no point in taking the both down without wrestle. So at this point, I just need to get everything sort of as cozy as possible. Nice power there, and then hit and run away. So I'm just going to try and cage up sort of as much as possible. I've got the Garda, These are my 2 key elements, and I'm just going to Venga Bus as much as possible with 2 in the middle and a corner there. So he's going to come around into there and just make life difficult for him. So he can hit players. I probably should have not taken that second dodge. Would he have? I don't think he'd have committed 2 players to surfing this one because he didn't have enough players. And if he had, then it would have been really good anyway. So I think taking the second dodge was not sensible after I'd used a dodge on the first one. Tree is staying on the deck, so it's 4 up to stand up because there was no timber on Wood Elves. So just hitting there. Did he get 2 dice? No, that was a 1 dice. A 1 dice POW with tackle on my blocker guard, and then so I've got 2 stunned players here, one from mine and then one from his. Now bizarrely, this next turn is one that I'm really pleased with, in that I didn't do very much at all because I thought I'll just wait for him to unstun, and I'll wait for him to unstun, and I'll let them catch up with me because there's no rush. I'm winning. I've got 6 turns left. I'm just gonna chill out for a bit. I'm gonna hit 1 player with 2 dice, see if I knock him over. Doesn't really matter, and then just cage up again. And then wait for the Garda to recuperate, and wait for this one to recuperate so that they can come back in. He gets the hit, which is fine. And then what he does do is actually quite good, because I was going to blitz forward on the next turn, but because he takes 2 players round the back and engages. So he knows he's in a bit of trouble anyway because he's 1-0 down and I've got the ball and needs to do something. Otherwise, I'm just going to sort of relax. So this is the point at which 1 in 81s quite often come and bite, because I needed to. I suppose I could have used that one. I couldn't. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, it would have been better, I think. Basically, I needed to blitz one of them away and knock the other one away in order to, ideally knock them down and then push the other one away. But what I should have done was bring this guard around and then hit with the thrower, because then it was a 1 in 1,260 instead of a 1 in 36. 1 in 81, sorry. So the 1 in 81s are a bit of a killer. but got away with it. So so I do hit with the so I hit with the Garda. Right, okay. So I hit with the Garda in order to free up. Yeah, no, that was a mistake. So if I'd brought the Garda around, I could have used this Garda and then made a better. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I could have avoided a 1 in 81 basically, and I think that would have been better with hindsight. Um, but yeah, it got away with it there and a push there. So the ball carrier is now free, but the Garda is at the back. But basically, so not making any progress. Bonus KO there. Um, and then I just move a little bit over here. Got the Garda there, and I've got enough players to, because the jump up here, so I was able to bring them down there, and then make an eye cage there. But actually, with hindsight there as well, should have stayed with this Garda. There was no real benefit to moving down there rather than just staying up there, I don't think. And then that would have stayed with the Garda, because what he does now is take a player around the back and then go in around the back for the blitz. But what he does have to do, or he doesn't have to, but what he does do is use all his players before he takes the blitz, so there's no way of scooping up. He used this catcher because otherwise it would have been difficult for the War Dancer to get a leap into this spot here, because this one had a tackle zone on that square. So it makes the leap in and gets the pow, and the ball goes loose. But the only danger here really is if it bounces to one of his players and he catches it. So it doesn't do that, and so I just need to again. So what I do need to do here is get the ball into my hands again. If I could do that, then things are good. So lots of dice on the War Dancer, but nothing happening there. Bring in the Garda so that if I do fail a pickup, it's not disastrous. Hopefully, well, so that when I do make the pickup, so I've got the cage there to happen. That was an unfortunate double skull. So these are the 1 in 81s that I'm talking about. So with no hitting with no block is not ideal. Still had the one reroll, but now I need it. I do need that reroll for the pickup. So going to pick up with the blodger just to have a little bit more protection. Made the pickup, which is a bonus, because that could have gone anywhere, and if that had gone out, I was in trouble. But again, that was a 1 in 9. And then he goes for the hit, both down, and gets the power, but that's his last reroll gone yet. I'm not, no, was that reroll? Can't remember. Right, but I get lucky there and catch it on the strength 4 player. And at that point, I am contented. So a few hits there, bring down the War Dancer with Wrestle, and then I'm able to run forward with the strength 4 player. War Dancer's on the ground, and I'm able to sort of push players back. So he's not going to be able to get anything decent on the strength 4. Fails the dodge straight away, no rerolls left, and I'm able to run down. Didn't need to do anything else, and just go for the 2-0 win. So really good game. Enjoyed that. He went for the one turner, but didn't get the push. Didn't get the pushes he needed. Needed one more push. But yeah, good game. Enjoyed that. Thank you very much, Greg. And we'll see what happens with the rest of the games. So I haven't got any more games, but there are 11 more in the fixture for Scotland against Malta. Cheers.